For generations, mankind has been enraptured with the tales of legendary heroes. Tales brimming with awe-inspiring magic, bloodthirsty beasts, grand armies, and malicious villains. But the true star of these legendary tales are waifus. Welcome to Fire Emblem 3 Houses Waifu Battle Royale. Our next match is between the jealous tomboy Leonie versus the future waifu empress Edelgard. Remember, the first round is based on part 1 of the game, so no major spoilers from the end of part 1 or part 2 will be discussed. With that being said, who will come out on top? Let's find out. A commoner from the Leicester Alliance and daughter of a hunter, Leonie is the self-proclaimed apprentice to Geralt, who she met at a young age, which inspired her to become a mercenary like him. Her village helped pay for her enrollment at the Officers' Academy, and she's indebted to pay back the village as soon as possible. She sees the player character Byleth as a rival of sort, basically who is worthy of Geralt's love. Leonie is a tomboy who speaks her mind, albeit not tactfully, and is rather impulsive, tackling problems head-on. Pros. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I like Leonie's admiration for Geralt. It gives her a motivation to be at the Officers' Academy, pushing her to become a mercenary like her master. It also creates an interesting dynamic between her and Byleth that not many other characters have. Leonie is very goal-oriented and motivated, as evidenced by her dream to become a successful mercenary and pay back her town. If you think about it, it's pretty wholesome. It also shows how much she values the sacrifice of others. She's an incredibly hard worker who trains and learns from her teachers just as much as anybody else. Thanks to her hunting experience as a child, she has the talent. She just needs the refinement the Academy provides. That talent is seen on the battlefield, where Leonie's strength, speed, and dexterity are present. Her growths are quite good, making her a powerful unit just in part 1, and one of my favorite cavaliers in the game. It's as if all of her training and refinement at the Academy is paying off for the actual battlefield. Both English and Japanese dubs do a fine job giving Leonie her voice, but they take it slightly different directions. Leonie's Japanese voice gives off a cute but tough vibe, not afraid to get rough and dirty. In other words, she sounds like a tomboy. The English voice is kinda normal. Don't get me wrong, I like her voice a lot, but it's somewhat vanilla when compared to the Japanese voice. But maybe that's more of a comparison of American and Japanese voice acting in general. Either way, great voice for each. As for her design, I'm kinda mixed. On the one hand, it matches her rough tomboy personality well. She has a jacket wrapped around her hips, a glove for her bow hand, her shirt is not buttoned all the way, shorter hair, etc. It's really not a bad design. On the other hand, her haircut is so bad, especially in the back. I bet she just took a knife to it one day and that was that. But again, it matches her tomboy personality. Cons. Overwhelmingly, Leonie's major flaw is her obsession with Geralt. I get idolizing someone, but she takes it a little too far, constantly bringing him up, pestering the man and his son whenever she sees them. On top of that, Geralt doesn't seem all too comfortable around her, almost as if he doesn't quite remember Leonie. There's probably some truth in that. Geralt may not have the best memory. Leonie may have not left a lasting impression on Geralt as much as Geralt left on her, but I digress. I already commented on her botched haircut, but it's definitely not her strong suit in part 1, at least in my book. I don't mind the pixie haircut or short hair in general, whatever you call it, bob, I don't even know. Actually, I kinda like that hairstyle on some waifus, but for some reason, her hair bugs me in the back, although I do like the color. If you don't like the tomboy, cute but tough style of waifu, then Leonie is definitely not for you. Granted, I personally don't find it unbearable, and it's not like she's rubbing her tomboyness in people's faces per se. Leonie is a misunderstood waifu that most people label as annoying, selfish, and overbearing because of her obsession with Geralt. To be fair, I get it. She's trying to pick a fight with Byleth half the time they talk, and she talks about Geralt a lot. But is that a bad thing for her character? If anything, it makes her character stand out from the other students and gives Leonie a purpose for being at the Academy. Once you look beyond her fangirl side, you see a tough, hard-working waifu with the talent to take down most any foe, whether with a bow or lance. Not every word out of her mouth is related to Geralt, since many of her supports deal with topics other than her self-proclaimed mentor. She seeks advice, trains with teachers, chats with her classmates, asks why Sylvain doesn't hit on her,
I thought you were a simp, Sylvain, but I guess you're just a wimp.
She's more than her obsession for Geralt, even if it is key to her character. That being said, I am a little worried that her obsession with Geralt is a tad bit unhealthy. Whew, that's enough training for me today, Leonie.
Ha! The day is still young. I can keep going.
Yeah, sure, but unlike you, I have a job to take care of. I can't spend all my time sparring and shooting arrows.
Oh, are you saying you're better than me?
What? No, that's not what I'm saying. We just have different responsibilities and things that are expected of us.
Oh yeah, sure. You're just trying to impress Captain Geralt.
It has nothing to do—
I bet he loves me more than you.
What are you talking about?
I'm his first and #1 apprentice, way before you came around.
You do realize I'm a year or so older than you, right?
Then where were you when Captain Geralt visited my village?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure where I was. In hiding? The story isn't very clear on that. Either way, you only got to know him for a couple of days.
The greatest 5 days of my life. Enough time to see what an amazing man he is.
Oh, please.
Well, what do you know?
He's my father.
Doesn't mean he cares about you more than me.
Actually, most of the time, yes, it does.
You just don't appreciate Captain Geralt like I do. You don't deserve to be his son.
Okay, I never asked to be the son of a drunk traveling mercenary, never knowing my mother. I never asked to be an emotionally deprived husk of a human being who hears a dragon lolly voice in his head. And I sure as Saros never asked to be a teacher to a cheeky brat like you.
You know what? Forget it.
I have a job to take care of. Oh, and your haircut looks hideous.
Why am I like this? I'm sorry, teacher.
I went too far, didn't I? She's just so frustrating. I better go apologize. Leonie? Leonie? Huh, maybe she went back to her room. Leonie, can we talk?
I can explain.
No. Leonie might have that tomboy charm to win it all, but is her fangirl obsession enough to defeat the empress of the waifus, Edelgard? Princess of the Adrestian Empire and heir to the throne, Edelgard is one of the 3 lord characters in the game and the only female of the 3. This also makes her the house leader of the Black Eagles. Calm and dignified, her presence commands everyone's attention, despite not being loud or boisterous. A true leader who uses the skills of her allies to win her battles, rather than rely on her own strength, although she usually does keep to herself. Her traumatic past affects many of her views on the state of Fodlan and the Church of Saros. Pros: Edelgard's backstory places her as one of the best-written characters in 3 houses. Her tragic past makes you, the player, question the current state of Fodlan, the crest system, and the Church of Saros itself. An impactful story like that is hard to ignore. Behind that stoic face is a real human being with fears and weaknesses, just like anybody else. As you unlock Edelgard's supports, you see her human and vulnerable side that you probably wouldn't notice if you chose another house. Despite her vices, however, she presses forward in accomplishing her goals. What her main goal is remains unclear for the majority of Part 1, but it's safe to say it involves her dislike for the crest system. Don't let Edelgard's small size fool you. She's a fiend with her axe skills and can tank most any hit. Since her growths as a lord are phenomenal, no one can quite compare to her top-tier status as an offense and defensive powerhouse among the waifus. Her voice is elegantly done by both English and Japanese voice actors, giving her a firm yet soft tone, fitting for someone of royal birth. I love her design, even if a little basic. The white hair and purple eyes is a memorizingly beautiful combination that anyone could lose themselves in. Plus, I like the red tights. I love how unique her school uniform is compared to everyone else. Cons: Edelgard's stern and somewhat cold personality might not be the easiest to get along with. Many of her classmates respect her in almost a fearful way, and are surprised when she shows any sort of laid-back or fun side to her. That serious attitude might be a negative for some. As goal-orientated and resourceful as she is, Edelgard is not afraid to use people for her gain. Whether you view that as effectively using the skills of your comrades or manipulating your own people might depend on your point of view. Unfortunately, Edelgard is a little slow in terms of combat, Not terribly so, but she's not as fast as some of the other characters. But I guess since she is a tank, what do you expect? Fly around the field everywhere? I mean, come on. Maybe some people have builds where Edelgard is incredibly fast. I don't know. But in my experience, she wasn't terribly fast. There's really no in the middle for Edelgard. You either love her sense of justice or hate her willingness to do almost anything to reach her goals. Personally, I love her strong, goal-oriented character. Edelgard's choices and desires make sense because I learned all I could about her through supports and story bits. Without that context, she does come off as a cold, ruthless person. Once you get to know her, however, you'll see a normal girl with the burden and opportunity to change the world, not a heartless princess. Almost there and done. It took me a while, but my latest project is complete. You may enter. Good morning, Edelgard. Sorry to bother you during your free time, but I have something—
How dare you approach Lady Edelgard, you filthy mercenary. Kneel before Her Majesty before I make it so you never stand again.
No, bad Hubert, bad.
Birds.
Go paint a bloody path somewhere else.
As you wish, Lady Edelgard.
You've trained him well.
Thank you. He means well, just a little overprotective. Now, what was it you wanted, Professor?
Just wanted to ask you about these books. Have you happened to read them before?
This is the first time I've seen them. Although the subject matter does pique my interests.
I must ask though, is it wise to be reading these books right under the nose of the church? Let's just say I've had a few close calls. So, the author's name doesn't ring a bell?
L.
No, I don't know anyone by that name. Could be a pseudonym to hide their identity from the church. Yeah, it could be. Well, if you want to read any of them, just let me know. Good day, Edelgard.
Wait, Professor. I have something to give you. I hope you like it.
Oh, is this me? I don't know what to say. I love it. This is definitely going up on the wall.
Really? Oh, I'm glad you like it. I just started drawing recently, so I was a little worried how it would turn out. Actually, I'm a little embarrassed.
Don't be. You did a great job, Elle.
Thank you, my teacher.
Gotcha.
Well played.
Hubert! Wait, no, I just wanted you to sign my book. Is Edelgard's strong yet human character enough to take down her enemies? Or did Leonie's training put her above the competition? The winner is Edelgard! This matchup was harder than you might think. While it's no secret I'm an Edelgard fan, having chosen the Black Eagles route for my first playthrough, I have grown to appreciate Leonie more as the months have passed. She's strong, hardworking, cute, and misunderstood. Although I guess you could say the same for Edelgard, since both are goal-oriented individuals. That said, it comes down to Edelgard's more in-depth and tragic backstory, making her a fascinating character to watch unravel as the story progressed. While Leonie had her moments, there's not as much depth behind her Geralt-obsessed character. Leonie put up a good fight, but the power of the waifu MC Edelgard was too great. Edelgard moves on to the next round, but don't worry, Leonie fans, it's possible for her to make a comeback in the loser bracket. Feel free to let me know who you thought should have won in the comments below. Next time on Waifu Battle Royale, the motherly angel of the academy, Mercedes, versus the aged-like-a-fine-wine teacher, Manuela. Who will claim victory? Find out next time. Be sure to share these videos with your friends and let me know what you think of this matchup. Goodbye, you good people.
Well played, Ignatz. Oh, I just do this for fun. As do I. But know this. You're not better than me. I'm coming for you. Hubert, you have been warned.
I don't even know you. We don't even have a support.